every year ends with a rat month and then an ox month. And the rat is traditionally much better at communications, interpersonal relations. So, what you really want to do during this rat month is work on the relationships and make sure the communications is going and that your relationship is the best it can be, because you may find it a little challenging in the next month, in the month of the ox. In fact, you have a whole ox year coming up, which could be a little bit more challenging for relationships than the rat year. And I'm not saying relationships are bad in the ox. I'm just saying you may have to work harder at it. So this month is a good time to take advantage of working on relationships, the rat's communication skills, interpersonal relations. Um, and you definitely want to make sure you figure out which are the lucky days for romance and multiply your chances of being successful and ending the year on a positive note with a strong relationship. You know, in the Bay Area, San Francisco, where I live, we're in lockdown, and it means we're going to be with a lot of people and in close quarters and not really able to go out much. Unfortunately, in spite of all its great qualities, the rat, like every sign, has some downside to it. And rats can be kind of argumentative, nitpicky. Sometimes they like to stir the pot a little bit, okay? But look, here we are on lockdown. Here we are in close quarters, cramped with a lot of people, and everybody's around the house. So we have to understand there might be a little strain on relationships. So it's up to us to do the best we can to be positive in our relationships and kind of realize that other people around us may be kind of stressed out. So we should, try to do the best we can to reduce the stress and help people get along and just avoid trying to be critical. If unless it's really important, let a little thing slide. Put some oil on the relationships so it's easier for people to get along, because we're all having a tough time during this pandemic. Okay, and that's probably going to be magnified in the holidays, especially with this triple and quadruple rat coming up. So if we handled it right, it's not going to spoil our holidays. Okay, but we know it's coming, so let's get psyched up, let's get ready, let's be positive, and let's try to support our friends and our family best we can. When it comes to COVID and dealing with COVID, these 2 months are very, very important, okay? And the good news is they're Earth months, and Earth is for taking care of practical matters, okay? And what you need to do is think about your health. And if there's anything that's going to require your attention this month, and I know you're going to be tied up with holidays this month and even New Year's in January, um, but you need to really spend some time on thinking about your health, not just because of the stress of the holidays, but there's something else coming too. And that is the next 2 months following the 2 months of this year, we're going to be dealing with metal months. And metal is the element that rules the lungs. And the lungs are what COVID tends to attack. So that makes it doubly important that in December and January, you work on your health. So make sure you're in good health, because you might need it come February and March, when the challenge for COVID may be higher. Um, and that's probably the greatest danger time really for all of us, February and March. I predict, anyway, maybe I shouldn't say predict, but I think things are going to get better for a variety of reasons, including the vaccine, maybe as soon as April or May. But anyway, now's the time to make sure your defenses are the best. Look, we all have a ton of things to do, and nobody has enough time with the holidays, okay? Um, at work, we're trying to wind down the year and getting everything cleaned up. We have so many preparations for the holidays. Sometimes we're, you know, too busy for our loved ones. Sometimes we don't get enough sleep. It's really important to pay attention to our relationships. Um, it's it's the time of year, if we can share things and if we can communicate, we can really improve our relationships. But if we're not careful, it's just the opposite. And you know, a lot of us are in lockdown here in the Bay Area, San Francisco. It's terrible. We've been pretty much hashtag stay home for months and months and months now. Um, that's you know, sometimes the old absence makes the heart grow fonder is good. It's good to get away, but now we're pretty much right with our loved ones all the time, 24/7. So there's going to be inevitable stresses. But we can turn it all into a positive if we just realize that it's out there. We get enough sleep, make sure we're talking, make sure we're doing positive things with our loved ones. So it's up to us. There's no guarantee. Even looking at the almanac, it's not really predicting that the month is favorable or unfavorable or for love. It's pretty much up to us, and we need to handle it. It's challenging. I know it's challenging for me, but we know that we can do it.